God ain't mocked or shocked, he saw your heart. I'm hoping we get back to how it was at the start. Turn my life into a show, selling tickets at the door. Came from riding on the metro to flying to Pietro. Made it out the ghetto. Shout out to my saints locked down who got abundant life but still facing death row. Every time I drop stuff, haters wanna pop up and they wanna pop us. Mad that they not us, I don't get it. But I don't really have to. I'm living in my purpose. Come and kick it, man, if that's you. Pop up.
You can't bust out of here like they do in the movies. Because even if you do, you still in prison. In the prison of your mind. You go punching your fist against a stone wall, you're not using your brain. That's what they want you to do. Look at you. What makes you ashamed of being you?
Tell them don't risk it. God got a life and I'm hoping you live it. I've been out driven. Came with the sauce and these haters start giving. No cowards. Me and my dogs came here to devour. This ours. I got an army, but trust in his power. Yeah.
30, 20, down to 10. It don't matter. We gon' win all day. Flex up. No new flag. Flex up. Mayweather. Don't forget. God bless me, y'all. God bless me, y'all. God trust me, y'all. Don't stress me, y'all. God bless me, y'all. God bless me, y'all. God trust me, y'all. Don't stress me, y'all.
I'm in my bag for the beginner. I give you a class. Isn't he bad? Bro, just wait till you witness a jab. I sentence was finished fast, cause he got up in the flash. The reapers, rippers, slipping dead. I can't do nothing but last. Strong on your soul, like prolong your soul. He don't hold out your soul. He so swell, we rest on. He so cheat code. I'm way too weak for my ego. But he gon' swing low. Hit a chariot and carry me home.
30, 20, down to 10. It don't matter. We gon' win all day. Flex up. No new flag. Flex up. Mayweather. Don't forget. God bless me, y'all. God bless me, y'all. God trust me, y'all. Don't stress me, y'all. God bless me, y'all. God bless me, y'all. God trust me, y'all. Don't stress me, y'all. God bless me, y'all. God bless me, y'all. God trust me, y'all. Don't stress me, y'all.
My God got it. Yeah, he got it. My God got it. Yeah, he got it. My God got it. Yeah, he got it. Yeah, he got it. Yeah, he got it. My God got it. Yeah, he got it. Yeah, he got it. Yeah, he got it. When I'm feeling, yeah, he got it. When I'm feeling, yeah, he got it. God bless me, yeah, he got it. God bless me, my God got it. When I'm feeling, yeah, he got it. Feeling in my soul, he got it. God bless me, yeah, he got it. God bless me, my God got it. When I'm feeling down, oh, I know. God bless me, yeah. When I'm down, God bless me, yeah.
This is madness! It's madness if I don't put in the work. It's madness if I don't believe.
So if they think that you are mad, let them talk. Let them wonder. Because the madness sets you apart from everyone else.
I am committed, and I don't care if this thing takes everything I have. I'm going after it.
You will believe even when others don't. Bring the madness.
And so let me look crazy for a season, and I'll live the rest of my life like a legend.
Yeah. When they hear the sound of the drum, they'll be saying, oh Lord, here they come. Yeah, here we come. Hey.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Panther Stadium in Siloam Springs, Arkansas, as the Saints of Shiloh have traveled west tonight for the next to last non-conference road game of the year as the Saints take on the Panthers of Siloam Springs. Only the second meeting ever between the neighbors of Siloam and Shiloh, is one meeting back in 2013, as we talked about last week, ended in a tie. So for the first time tonight, Saints will have an opportunity to beat the Panthers on their home field. So as we welcome in Cliff Anderson and our crew, as you see the stands here at Panther Stadium kind of filling up on the side. We'll wave at you and say hello on this Friday night. Beautiful Friday night. But Cliff, as we get ready to go for the Saints tonight, coming a game, Siloam struggled a little bit. 2-5 overall, 0-4 in conference play. Really started out the season winning. We talked about they'd broken a long losing streak and lost 27 in a row coming into the season. They won their first game against Heritage, got another win over Pea Ridge a couple weeks later. But Cliff, unfortunately for Siloam, once conference play started, they have really struggled.
They really have, and you know, you've got to give Siloam credit. They've got a new coach this season, Doug Lockridge, who many may be familiar with that name. Coach Lockridge coached for several years in Charleston, won 2 state championships, had a great record there several years ago at Charleston, 68-9 as a head coach. Again, 2 state championships. He moves to Alma. He goes 48-36. But the past 4 years, Coach Lockridge moved from the field to the office as athletics director there in Alma. So that's what he's been doing for the past 4 years. But the AD here in Siloam, Coach Jeff Williams, pulled him out of coaching, got Coach Lockridge up here in Siloam. And like you said, they turned things around after having an 0-for-27 streak the past 2.5, 3 years. Coach Lockridge turns things around in their non-conference, again going 2-1, but it has been tough for them in the first 4 games of the conference season. They've lost big to Lake Hamilton 46-6. They lost big to Van Buren 45-11. They lost big to Greenwood 62-7, and they lost last week to Mountain Home 37-15. So just in conference play, Siloam Springs is averaging 9.5 points per game, giving up 47.5. So that's a huge difference. You don't win many games when you only score 9 and you give up 47. On the flip side, Shiloh comes in here averaging 34.5 a game, giving up 20.5. So on paper, it looks like a not a good contest here. You've just got a team that's rebuilding in the Panthers from Siloam Springs, and you've got a team that's really finding their way here in the conference season in these Saints. And, boy, you may talk about it, but last week, homecoming, an exciting week at Shiloh, and an exciting first quarter of play as Shiloh puts up 46 points against Russellville and then just cruises for the 46-21 win last week. So Shiloh's playing at a really high level. They know what's in front of them. We're wrapping up this conference race, And they're trying to get that number 2 seed unless Greenwood somehow slips up a time or two, which I don't expect that to happen. But these Saints are trying to get that number 2 slot in the conference, which means a bye in the playoffs opening week, and then 1 home game, 1 away game, then you're in Little Rock. So a lot to play for these Shiloh Christian Saints tonight.
Yeah, Cliff mentioned the Saints had a big win last week. One of those don't let the score fool you, 46-21 the final, but Shiloh led 46-0 after the first quarter. Just a dominant game against Russellville. Last week they'll come into this one. So, Cliff, last week we got Cole Creighton back at quarterback after an injury, and we kind of talked about, really hope he can get in rhythm a little bit. Well, the defense just stole the show. Cole never really had to throw the ball next week. So I think when you look at the game tonight, maybe that's one of the things you look at. Do you get the sophomore quarterback in rhythm, get him some passing yards, maybe take some shots down the field that just because of field position he couldn't do last week?
Yeah, they wanted to bring Cole back kind of slowly. I don't think he even got touched at all. He got rushed out of the pocket to the visiting side, the Russellville side once, I remember, threw the ball away, but I don't remember him get touched or tackled, had no rushes, and so it was really a good game for him just to kind of come back in and then let Jake Bodenstein just continue to do what he's done, filling in for Cole. But we'll see. We'll probably see them both again tonight. Again, it's going to be another type of a game that, like you said, let's get Cole, his feet under him. We don't have to run him a whole lot, but I think we'll definitely have an advantage on the outside with our receivers against the defensive backs of Siloam Springs tonight, and probably can do what we want to do tonight.
From Siloam's perspective, they'll kind of run a dual quarterback system. Number 8, Gio Flores, a senior. Number 11, Dane Marlott, another senior. Those two quarterbacks are really their two primary playmakers, and you will see a plethora of running backs, receivers, and tight end H-backs that they try to get the football to. But really 8 and 11 will be the two key numbers for Siloam tonight as they try to get the football. So Panthers a little bit more of a heavy run team than passing team primarily. You'll see that as they go through the game tonight. So captains are down on the field. They're getting ready for the coin toss. Shiloh and Siloam for what is the first meeting at either our opponent's team. One game in Razorback Stadium in 2013 ended in a 13-13 tie. So this game tonight will kind of give one team the advantage in that system.
Did you say in 2013 it was a 35-35?
35-35,
not
13-13.
So yeah,
I was thinking 2013.
I was calling that game, Billy, and Shiloh, I believe, in the fourth quarter had a 35-14 lead. And if I remember right, I could be wrong, but I don't know if it was 3 interceptions that Shiloh threw in the fourth quarter, and Siloam Springs was able to score off of those. They come all the way back and tie the game. And I remember when we left the stadium, at Razorback Stadium, it's a Hootens Kickoff Classic, when we left the stadium, even though it was a tie, I felt like we lost because we really dominated that game, again, up 35-14, and ended up tying 35-35. That's the only time we played, as you said. And, again, we had totally different coaches and a lot of different players back in 2013. So maybe some fans will remember that game. But different teams on the field tonight. And I think Shiloh will probably score more than 35. And I don't think they're going to give up 35 tonight. So we'll see what happens. Again, as Shiloh comes into the game at an overall record of 5-2, 3-1 in the conference. So they're looking to go 6-2, 4-1. Another big game in our conference tonight we'll be watching and talking about a little bit. Mountain Home, who's tied with Shiloh for the second place spot here in the 6A West, is playing Lake Hamilton, who's also tied at second at 3-1 record. So one of those teams will go home with 2 losses. You see the Saints coming out on the field. And then another game we're watching the East because for potential playoff implications, the big game out of the 6A East, 2 undefeated in conference play, Benton Panthers and the Little Rock Catholic Rockets, both 4-0. So one of those teams will take a loss tonight and someone have an upper edge there in the 6A East.
Siloam won the toss, and they said they want the football, so the Panthers will get it first. Aiden Pullen will grab the tee and kick it off for Shiloh. A little bit of a breeze kind of across the field tonight. Not much wind. Temperatures in the mid-70s, so really nice night for football. As you can, about 40 seconds left to get ready to kick it off. So Shiloh will see the Panthers take it first. And so, Cliff, I think from this, these are the kind of games as a coach, man, they just got to scare you to death because you know you're the big favorite, but you still got to go out and execute. Love to see the defense set the tone on this first drive right here.
Yeah, in Shiloh, you see all white, so really neat looking uniform combination, white helmet, white jersey, white throwback jersey that is, and then the white pants. So real clean looking here on your screen tonight. Beautiful night for football here. Man, we had some great weather so far this season. Talking about a little rain possibly next Friday. We'll have to see how all that materializes. But it's a beautiful night here on the border of Oklahoma and Arkansas tonight.
Yeah, good and warm, nice. So Pullen will kick it off. Panthers with 3 men back deep. There's the kick by Aiden. It's going to be taken at the 14, up the field 15, waiting on his blockers to the 20, kind of slowly poking his way through, and is going to be taken down at the 23-yard line. So that's where Siloam Springs will set up on offense with a first down and 10. Yard to go. McKinley was on the return there for the Panthers. Siloam, as we kind of mentioned in pregame, they run it a little bit more than they throw it, kind of a ball control type of offense, which unfortunately probably something to do with the defense struggling a little bit, just trying to keep it on the ground, run some clock to see what they can do. So a first and 10 for the Panthers as they'll go double wing on the first play. Going to hand it to the wing back coming this way. Got some room, 25 to the 30, and then taking off his feet there is Mason Short, the 6 foot, 190-pound junior running back. So a good run on first down for the Panthers. And so, Cliff, we kind of talk about running, but, they've seen in the last few weeks a little more shotgun, a little different wrinkle in the first play, a little double wing action there.
Yeah, so it may take a few plays here for our Shiloh defense to get adjusted here to this type of an offensive set.
They're going to hand it to the fullback. He breaks a tackle to the 35 to the 40, breaks another tackle, and then he's up to the 47-yard line. So 2 big runs for the Panthers right out of the gate. His A.J. Yalanen was the last man in defense right there, and he got him on the ground. If A.J. didn't make that tackle, it could have been even a bigger one for the Panthers, but all the way out to the 47, so quick 24 yards of offense for the Panthers on this first drive. They're going to hand it fullback again. He gets across midfield. He sneaks through. Still being pushed by the Panther offensive line all the way down to the 46-yard line. So a good pickup of 7 on first down. And so far, Cliff, the double wing, very effective for Siloam early.
Yeah, they're having success getting a good offensive line push. And again, it may just take a few plays and maybe an opening drive here for the St. defense to kind of get adjusted. Again, Siloam will come in and rush the ball about 70% of the time.
They're going to hand it on the wing again, and he's taken off his feet at the 39-yard line as Salter comes up and makes a stop, but that moves the chains as they hit short on kind of the quick trap goal around the edge. So a first and 10 for Siloam. They've quickly huddled, kind of a tempo double wing. You don't see a lot of that, but so far Siloam's been effective with it. They're going to hand it off coming this way, and for the first time the Saints bottle it up at the 39-yard line. So no gain there. It's second and 10 for the Panthers.
And what you see a lot of times is we've seen all runs so far with Siloam moving the ball down the field, and it can sometimes lull a secondary to sleep. You cannot let a receiver get past you.
Power run to the right side is Short again. He's hit hard at the 37-yard line. He'll pick up 2, but now third down and 8. So the Short had a couple effective runs off that formation early. Saints bottle that one up. So now third down and 8 for the Panthers at the St. 37. If you're just joining us with 9:38 to go in the first quarter, Siloam received the opening kick and have marched down the field. And now they're going to go backwards as a false start right there as the right side of the offensive line moved too quickly. So we go from 3rd and 8 to now 3rd and 13 for the Panthers as they'll wind up behind the chain. So, well, Cliff, the good thing is for a Panther team that has wanted to run it, 3rd and 13 is not an opportune situation for you.
Yeah, this is definitely probably a passing down here for the Panthers. Again, Shiloh secondary, got to keep them short of the 30.
42, they're going to hand it to the fullback up the middle. He gets a yard, maybe 2, and that's about it as they hand it to Victor Toledo, the senior fullback. As we mentioned, Siloam will use a lot of running backs, tight ends, and H-backs. They really spread the football around to different guys. Not much there, so now 4th down and 12 for the Panthers at the St. 41-yard line. So we'll see if the Panthers will want to punt here and try to pin them back or go for it. So it looks like they're going to go for it at the Shiloh 41, 4th and 12, 8:44 to go in the first quarter. Quarterback back to pass, looks left, looks, going to throw it down, and it is going to be knocked away. Great defensive play there by the Saints. So 4th down, and Siloam is turned back. So the Saints will take over 1st and 10. So good job by the defense of kind of settling down after the Panthers had some good initial looks there.
Well, and like I said, they're on 3rd down, 3rd and 13. Most definitely a passing situation there. What do? They stick to their game plan, and they run it. And Shiloh's able to defend that and then knock away the pass. The first pass attempt of the night for the Panthers. Shiloh has great field position on their first drive.
Gray Colbert knocked that pass away on 4th down. So 1st and 10, quick hitter caught by Griffin Mason at the 47, and he's going to be pulled down there. Saints with a quick hitter of 6 yards on 1st down. As they get Cole Creighton, a quick hitter to Mason. They got Griffin wide to the left. Saints run to the line of scrimmage at the 48. 2 receivers either side. Bubble coming this way to Carnes. He's across midfield and going to be thrown out of bounds right there. Right at the stick. I think he's a little bit short. Had to kind of drop the chain to get out of the way. He's going to be about a yard short, so 3rd down and 1 for Shiloh at midfield. Saints will go a little bit of a power look to the left here. Griffin Mason goes to the backfield here. There's a snap. Griff's going to hand it off. He's got the 1st down. He's pulled down from behind at the 47-yard line, but not after picking up a 1st down. So Saints quickly moving it with Griffin getting his carry with the 1st down there. Cole will send 3 receivers to the left and an H-back to the left. Power formation that way. Bubble screen this way. Caught the 45, up the field to the 40. Sliders to the 35-yard line before he's pulled down there from behind. So a good short gain for the Saints on the passing, but Slider was able to push it down the field, and it's another 1st down for Shiloh at the 35-yard line of Siloam Springs. Flip the formation to the wide side here quickly. Bubble screen again. Carnes caught the 35, cuts inside to the 30. He's taken down at the 27. So Shiloh taking advantage of the soft coverage that Siloam has shown early, just very patiently taking the bubble screen and getting what they can. They'll stay with the same formation this time, and they'll go trips to the left, sliders to the right, back to pass. Creighton's going to fire it in the direction of Slider, who makes a diving catch at the 19-yard line. That'll stop the chains again for a 1st down. But a gain of 9 on that reception for Slider. And the Saints are in the red zone at the 19-yard line, moving quickly. They'll send Henley to the right as a tight end. Creighton's got Mason to his left. Mason's going to get it coming right to the 20, to the 16. Stays on his feet to the 10. And it's going to be hauled down out of bounds at the 4-yard line. There's a flag at the 17. Probably going to be a hold, and it is a hold against the Saints. So that got Griffin to the edge, but unfortunately a holding will back Shiloh up. So that what started at the 19 with that drive looks like it's going to be 1st and 18 after they mark off the penalty. We'll confirm that here. So instead of a 1st and goal, back at the 27 is where they'll spot it. So it's going to be 1st down. It'll stay that way with the penalty. Opening drive for the Saints as we've almost burned halfway through the first quarter. 6:42 left to go, scoreless game. After a fairly long drive by Siloam to start it, stalled at the Saint 40 on downs. Creighton with a hard count. Now he's back to pass, fires in the left, caught by Slider, breaks 1 tackle, breaks another tackle, spins out of that the 20, breaks another tackle, and finally slung out of bounds at the 18-yard line, but Zane picks up 9, just spinning through tackles there. Shiloh will be playing it from the left hash on 2nd down and a long 8. They get most of the penalty yards back. Handoff, Griffin Mason coming to the right. Griffin's to the 15, and he's taken down there. Good open field tackle by the Panthers at the 15. Gain of 3, so 3rd and 5 coming up.
You know, the pace that Shiloh's operating now on the offensive side of the ball, they were just really catching Siloam on their heels. Griffin comes into the game averaging 185 yards rushing a game. He's already over 1,100 yards rushing so far this season. He's been the one that's carried the ball the most for the team.
Creighton back to pass, fires in the end zone. It's tipped and incomplete, intended for Kemp on the slant. Good job by the safety of the Panthers. Is he able to get a finger on it and knock it away? So incomplete on 3rd and 5, brings up 4th and 5 for the Saints just inside the 15-yard line. 5:44 to go in the first quarter. Scoreless game, first offensive drive for Shiloh, and we'll see what they want to dial up on 4th and 5 at the 14. They're going to send Griffin Mason in a slot to the left here. Pullen's in the backfield for protection. Now they're going to send Griffin motion to the right. Cole looks that way. Screen coming back left. Lobs it up, and it's going to be knocked down incomplete. Got to give Siloam credit. They did a tremendous job of covering the backside screen there. And there's just nothing there as they was intended for Pullen. Tried a little deception with Griffin Mason in motion to the right, throwing it back left, but Siloam did a good job. So the Panther defense stiffens, and the Saints turn it over on down. So both teams with a long opening drive, but neither team with points off of it in the first quarter. So 5:39 to go here, scoreless game as the Panthers backed up at their own 14-yard line. Came out with a double wing on the first drive, Cliff. We'll see if they change it up on drive number 2. Hudson Ball coming out, so he may have some blood on his jersey, possibly. I think they're going to, he's looking at his knees. Cliff May said didn't have the pants down far enough. Double wing for Siloam on first down at the 14-yard line. They're going to hand it coming back this way. He's at 15 to the 20 and up to the 25, and across there, staying on his feet is the running back, Ryan Esterio. So Siloam really spreading it around on offense. A lot of guys getting a touch as they get it out to the 26, but a gain of 12 out from the 14 and a first down for the Panthers.
Yeah, so far early in this game, Siloam has done well with the run game.
Handoff fullback on the quick trap, and he's up to the 31-yard line. As that's Boaz Branson on the carry. Good run for the Panthers up to the 31, 2nd and 5.
You know, Siloam moved the ball on the Saint defense their first drive, not able to extend the drive and put points on the board. Shiloh moves it down the field, running the ball, passing the ball as well, not able to put it in the end zone. So both offenses moving the ball a little bit, but not able to move it into red zone.
At the 31, 2nd and 5. Panthers staying ahead of the chains. The fullback right up the guts, gotten a lot of room, and he's across the 40 to the 42. I think the Saints, did they take the ball away from the running back? Well, let's see if they say he's down or if it's a turnover. They're going to say his knee was down, and it's a first down for Siloam at the 41-yard line. So Saints came up with the football. Couldn't tell if the running back was on top of the defender there or if his knee was down, but the official from this side said his knee was down. So at the 41, 1st and 10 for the Panthers. They'll run it to the fullback again. This time he's tripped up and gets only a yard at the 42 on the quick dive, as that's Benson on the carry again. So Siloam staying with the double wing a little bit. Early in this game, they've had a little bit of success. Probably their biggest factor, though, they've run the clock all the way down to 4 minutes to go in the first quarter and a scoreless game. So a Panther team that's 0-4, the longer they can stay, the better they will be. They're going to hand it right coming this way. He's going to be hit the 40, fumbles the football. It's loose, picked up by the Saints, down the right sideline, and then tackled at the 30-yard line. Salter picks it up off the fumble, and Shiloh's going to take over at the 30-yard line as Gio Flores, we talked about in the pregame, one of the big playmakers for Siloam on the wing, fumbled the football, and Shiloh's going to take over 1st and 10 at the Panther 29-yard line. So a big turnover right there as the defense comes up with a play. They'll mark him at the 30, actually, so this drive will start there with a 1st and 10. So let's see if the Saint offense on drive number 2 with a short field can stick it in the end zone. Creighton's going to send Carnes in motion this way. Dalton trying to get to the edge, gets a great block from Griffin Mason, and is taken off his feet at the 26-yard line as Griffin got the old pancake on a defensive back coming up for Siloam, but down to the 26, gain of 4 for Carnes. That goes down as a pass for Creighton as he pitched it forward. He's going to fire it to Carnes out in the flat. Cuts inside the 20. Dalton to the 20 inside there. He's down to the 15-yard line. That'll move the chains for a first down for the Saints. So Carnes with back-to-back big plays and gets the Saints down to the 15. Dalton will go left. with two receivers, him and Kemp that way. Handoff Griffin right up the middle. Griff's going to power forward, and then he's going to be hit by a whole bunch of maroon-looking jerseys and push back up there. So Griff, not much on that carry. We'll see officially where they spot it. They'll give him 2. 2nd down and 8 coming up for the Saints. Shiloh's second possession. They turned it over on downs at the Siloam 30 to start their first possession. Creighton's going to hand it. Griffin coming left. He's got a big hole. To the 10, to the 5. Can he get all the way to the corner? He dives for the end zone and scores. Touchdown Shiloh with 2:30 left to go in the first quarter. The Saints are on the board, 6-0.
And great seal blocking on the left side of the line there for Shiloh. And then Griffin Mason just uses his speed and athletic ability to bounce it to the outside, down the sidelines, dives in for the first score of the night. And big turnover. If you're Siloam Springs and you're struggling, you're 0-4 in conference, 2-5 overall, trying to rebuild your program and just get some positive things happening, you cannot turn the ball over against a good team.
Creighton's going to flip it back to Beach. Beach looking, throws in the back corner. It's going to be intercepted in the back part of the end zone, so that'll make the 2-point conversion no good. It was intended for Carnes, pretty well covered by the Panthers. So they stopped the Saints on the 2-point conversion, but 2:30 left to go, and quarter number 1, as you see the cheerleaders taking the flags across the end zone as the Saints have stuck it in the end zone for the first time tonight and lead this game 6-0 over the Siloam Springs Panthers. So Cliff, we've got to give it credit to the defense, get a new look and get a big turnover there, and then get 10 yards on the fumble return and set the offense up in good position. The offense does their job.
Yeah, they're moving the ball their first drive, but just not able to punch it in there on a 4th down play, turnover on downs. But the second drive, short field, as you said, off of the turnover, costly mistake by the Panthers, and Shiloh's able to punch it in. Man, think about this. Last week, Billy, we're at Champion Stadium, and at this point of the game, it was already 46-0. Unbelievable. 6-0 here for the Saints right now.
There's the kick. Going to be taken by the Panthers at the 8 to the 10, straight up the field, 15, kind of picking his way there. And a good job of coverage by Shiloh. They'll take him down at the 24. Will Anderson and a host of other white jerseys on the stop for Shiloh. So 2:24 to go in the first quarter. The other thing, Cliff, we have played 11 minutes of game time and 17 minutes of real time. So the old double wing will eat up some clock, which is what Siloam wants to do. Shorten this game, try to stay in it, see if they can make some plays. It's pretty effective first couple drives, just the turnover really hurt them right there.
Yeah, and if you're going to shorten the game, you've got to make those drives count. You can't have wasted drives and you just chewed up a lot of the clock. You have to somehow get it in the end zone, get points on the board.
Quick dive to the fullback. He's going to plow forward up to the 27-yard line, a gain of 3. So it's kind of staying ahead of the chains. That's what they would like to do, is they kind of ran it to the fullback there. Benson again. 2nd and 7 coming up. Siloam went a little bit of tempo almost on the first possession. Now they have slowed it down and are really eating play clock. They won't even break the huddle to 15 on the play clock this time, with a 2nd and 7 coming up. They're going to hand it coming back this way, cuts inside, gets away from ball and across the 35 to the 36. Good run there by the Panthers in a first down. Is carrying at that time was Jackson Anderson, the junior. So first down for Siloam at the 37-yard line. Good job of the offensive line of Siloam. They kind of sealed ball on the backside there, gave the Jackson, the wing back, a little bit of room. So 1st and 10 at the 37. Clock going, a minute 22 left to go in a quick moving first quarter. Shiloh off the turnover on the Panthers' second possession. Lead it 6-0. Saints will stand that defensive front, look up. They're going to hand it coming up the middle to the 40, across there to the 43 as falling forward is Short, who's been really one of their more effective running backs tonight, but a good first down run for the Panthers. He'll get about 6, almost 7 on that one, out to the 43, and it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 4. As we mentioned, the Panthers have kind of just staying in the, letting the play clock run. The official actually reset the play clock on that play, so the 40-second clock just started. So the Panthers just kind of staying They will have to run a play. There's about 5 seconds difference between the play clock and the game clock, so this will likely be the last play of the quick-moving first quarter. A 2nd and 4 coming up for Siloam. Play action. Quarterback's going to throw it down the right side, way high and incomplete. As they let Marlott throw it for the 2nd time tonight, that pass was intended for Benson. Just way overthrown and incomplete. Now 3rd and 4 for the Panthers, as that does stop the clock. So we'll get one more play here in the first quarter with 14 seconds left. For Siloam, they'll run a receiver. McKinley all the way out to the left. Quick hitter to the fullback, and Sid Scott says, I've seen enough of that. He gobbles him up at the 41-yard line. Panthers are going to go backwards on that one. So 3rd down and 4 becomes 4th down and 6 as the first quarter ends. So after one, the Saints have had 2 drives, and they lead 6-0 in this game. So Cliff, some quick stats.
Yeah, good opening first quarter by the sophomore quarterback Cole Creighton. He was 8 of 10 passing for 66 yards. Leading rusher, really the only rusher for Shiloh in the first quarter, Griffin Mason, had 5 carries for 22 yards. The big one being a 12-yarder for the touchdown, the only score of the first quarter for Shiloh. Then you've got Dalton Carnes making his name known tonight. 4 carries for pass receptions, for 28 yards. And then Zane Slider, 3 catches for 32 yards. So pretty balanced attack, rushing and passing the ball for Shiloh in the first quarter. We lead 6-0. That's the number that counts. I know Shiloh, they expect this every game. They expect to go down and score every drive of every game. Well, weren't able to do that here in the first quarter, only scoring on 1 of their 2 drives. Siloam Springs right now on their 3rd drive, and they've yet to put it in the end zone. So good, quick, fast opening quarter of this ball game. So we'll see. Siloam will have the ball here. What we have, 3rd or 4th down, 4th and about 6.
Siloam looks like they're going to punt on 4th and 6 from their own 41-yard line. Saints playing a little bit safe coverage. They don't have anybody back deep right now. We'll see if they run Carnes back there. They kind of keep him in the middle of the field. Panthers will punt it away. It's a really good high punt angle, so the Shiloh's going to start deep back. Boy, luckily it kind of took a sideways bounce and only gained about 2 more yards. So very fortunate there, as there was nobody back, so it could have rolled for a long way, but instead it rolled sideways. Saints will take over. 11:48 to go in the first quarter. While we have a chance, some quick sponsors of 2024 Shiloh Christian Football. Elite video sponsors Geo Services, Roush Coleman Homes, and McClarty Daniel. Champion video sponsors this year, Chick-fil-A Springdale, Mr. Sparky, Telecomp, Mathis Home, and PaveCon. Your press box on the visitor sites brought to you by Smith & Davis Orthodontics, and School Boards brought to you by Arvest. So 1st down and 10 for Shiloh at their own 23-yard line as we start their 3rd drive of this game. Handoff, Griffin Mason up the middle. Griff hits hard at the 25. He spins off that block, and then he's thrown down at the 27-yard line. And so, Cliff, as you could probably hear it in our microphone, all of a sudden it has gotten very windy out here. The wind has changed directions now, coming behind the Saints back here in the 2nd quarter. It was barely blowing before. Griffin Mason coming this way to the 25. Great cut by Griff to the 30, outside to the 35, and he's going to be taking off his legs there. And Griffin may have gotten hit right on the knee right there as he's down. Kind of looked at the trainer and said, come check on me right there. Hopefully he's okay. Kind of looking at that lower part of the leg. May have just taken a shoulder pad right on that shin. If you've ever ran into something in the middle of the night, you know how much that hurts. So hopefully Griffin going to be okay, but they'll check on him as he's taking off his feet. So 11:18 to go in the first half. Shiloh up 6-0 as they'll check on Griffin Mason, who was kind of cut down there from that play. And so, Cliff, one thing you got to give credit to Siloam early in the game. You can tell they game plan for 18. They really have had multiple guys gang tackling, hitting him hard early.
Yeah, I think everybody around the state that is going to play Shiloh knows about number 18, Griffin Mason. They've seen him run. They've seen him put up numbers. And like I said, coming into this game, here's a replay. And And Griffin made a good strong run there, good cut to the outside, and just a defensive back doing what you're supposed to do to a strong runner. You got to tackle them low. And so Griffin getting some help off the field, so well, hopefully he can work that out and it's nothing too serious and he can get back in this game. But came into the game over 1,100 yards rushing, and he has been really the bell cow running the ball this season. Max Eldridge, the freshman, you see him right there, number 0, has spelled Griffin a lot throughout the season. But if Griffin can't get back in this game, it's Max in the backfield probably.
Panthers changing their defensive front. Creighton with a hard count won't move. They'll hand it to, no, play action. Good one. He's got a man wide open. Slider down the field. Call 35-30 to the 25. And going to be taken off his feet at the 22. Boy, great play action by Creighton there. He fooled the Panthers defense and me. Thought he'd handed that football off, and Slider went right down the seam for a big play all the way down to the Panther 17-yard line.
Yeah, 48-yard pass completion to Zane Slider.
Handoff, Eldridge coming this way. And he's going to waltz in. Touchdown, Shiloh, as Eldridge goes right up the Panther gut for the touchdown. 10:44 to go in the second quarter. It's 12-0 Saints. And so great job by the offensive line there as Max went untouched for that 17-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, huge hole created by the offensive line right up the middle. And you saw some fresh legs there with Max Eldridge coming in from the backfield.
Saints will go for the traditional 2 here after missing the 2-point conversion their first time. They'll send Kemp in motion across the formation to the right. Rolling that way as Creighton fires a bullet to Kemp, who caught it. Good catch by Chandler as he went down and got it. And the Saints convert the 2-point conversion. So now able to extend their lead to 14-0 with 10:44 to go in the first quarter. As you see the replay here, Max's run. And
look at the huge hole there, and just linebackers and secondary out of position a little bit, not even playing for a run up the middle. Pretty easy catch and run there for Max Eldridge for the second score of the night. I thought that throw by Cole Creighton on the 2-point conversion, that was a tough throw. I mean, he had a receiver open in the middle of the back of the end zone, didn't see him, went to Kemp on the right side and able to get it in there for the 2-point conversion.
The Saints 14-0 as they have scored after a turnover on the second possession by Siloam. And then this time after a punt, Saints go right down the field and score very quickly. Their fastest drive of the night, 10:44 to go as Aiden Pullen kicks it deep. Aiden with a good kick, stay in bounds. Oh, bad bounce, and it goes out of bounds at the 1-yard line. So that will give the Panthers a penalty with an illegal formation and give them good field position. 1 more yard of bounce, and Aiden would have had exactly what he wanted, hitting the big orange pylon for a touchback. But instead, Panthers will take over at their own 35-yard line with what they've come out running an early double wing formation. They've had a little bit of success moving the football, but haven't been able to extend any drives, and then had the big fumble on the second drive. So 1st and 10 for the Panthers as they put the ball in play. So 1st and 10 for Siloam at the 35, trailing 14-0, 10:44 to go in the first quarter. Panthers are going to run it this way and hit in the backfield, and then Max Eldridge is going to finish him off as the helmet comes flying off of the Siloam running back right there. So good job by Eldridge as he absolutely planted the Siloam running back. The Saints have adjusted to the double wing formation pretty quickly here after the first couple drives. Now they've got Siloam behind the chains for the second straight possession. As Short carried that one, he'll go out, get his helmet back on. So 2nd down at the 35. Panthers with a play clock at 5. Oh, it's going to have to kind of hurry to get it off. He's going to hand it to the fullback, and he's going to be taken down after he gets a yard, maybe 2. Henley came up to make the stop along with Hudson Ball. So 3rd down coming up for the Panthers. And so, Cliff, after you kind of mentioned it early, the Panthers have gotten behind the chains. You see Griffin Mason on the sideline kind of walking. It looked like he maybe took a helmet to the shin, so we hope he's okay. Just put some pressure on it there. We'll see.
Well, this may not be a game that you know, again, Shiloh up already 2 scores. You see a little run up the middle there. But it may not be a game that you need Griffin. I mean, you'd love to see him out there, obviously, but we've got a lot bigger games coming up. A big one next week is it's senior night at Champion Stadium against Lake Hamilton. So we'll be watching the Lake Hamilton Mountain home score tonight and kind of seeing what that looks like for the Wolves coming up to Champion Stadium for the first time and playing another first-time opponent next week.
Short a punt. Carnes is back deep this time. Shiloh lines up in a traditional defensive look. They'll shift out one receiver, so Colbert will jump out and cover him. There's a snap and a punt nearly blocked. Saints are going to let this one bounce as it was a little short. Dalton couldn't come up and get that. It's going to roll down at the 16-yard line, so the Saints will start backed up with their possession, but a 14-0 lead with 8:44 to go in the second quarter. So Short with a good punt, kind of into the wind that's kind of picked up a little bit, as the Saints will have that at their back the rest of this quarter. 1st and 10 at the 17. Saints will have Eldridge in the backfield again. As I mentioned, Griffin Mason kind of took a shot to the shin area, went down earlier, so we're hoping he's okay. They'll send Slaughter in motion this way, back to pass, quick hitter out in the flats, caught at the 15 to the 20, and Kemp gets, wow. Every fan on this side thought there was a horse collar, but the one guy who could call it didn't call it. So at the 25-yard line, Kemp gets pulled out of bounds after a gain of 8. 2nd down and 2. Quick snap. Cole's going to fire out in the flat, caught by Dalton. Great block to the 30, to the 32. He fumbles the football, though. It's loose. There's a dive for it, and let's see. I think the Saints fell on it on the sidelines across from us. As Shiloh did fall on it, so the ball will go back with the fumble, but I still think the Saints got the first down. They did. So an unusual play that you fumble and get a first down, but it actually happened there. So a first down for Shiloh, even though they fumbled the football. Back to pass, Creighton wants to throw it deep to Kemp. 1-on-2 coverage, and Kemp runs, dives, and cannot come up with it at the 30-yard line of Siloam. Kemp gave it all his effort, just couldn't come up with it, and now he is down.
Yeah,
may have landed on the football.
Yeah, I was
think.
going to say, hopefully he just got the air knocked out of him. He made a great effort to catch the ball. Great throw by Cole Creighton, just kind of hung up in the wind a little bit, and Chandler not able to get under it and come down with the catch.
See the replay of that play here. Chandler gave it all he's had. The wind that we mentioned kind of really picked up is behind Cole's back, and that might have been the difference right there. It was just a little bit long. Chandler fully extended trying to get that. I think he's going to be okay. He just kind of probably got the wind knocked out of him a little bit. So 2nd down and 10 coming up for the Saints, as Kemp will kind of slowly walk back to get his breath a little bit. See Coach Tucker Barnard talking to him there.
Hey, you got to make that catch, kid. Come on.
Chandler would probably be the first one to tell you, yeah, I should have had it, Coach.
Should have had it, but it's okay. Made a great effort at it.
At the 27, trips to the left for Shiloh. They'll shift Max Eldridge to his left. They're going to bubble screen it out to Slaughter. He's to the 30, and he'll get 31, 32, and that's about it. That time, Siloam defended it pretty well, really, for the first time tonight. So 3rd down and about 6 coming up, so a gain of 4 for Slaughter there. 2 receivers right will be Carnes and Slaughter. Now they'll go to send Max Eldridge also out to the left as Brewer comes back in for protection in the backfield. 3rd and 6, Creighton sees blitz. Here it comes. He's back to pass. Fires quick hitter. It's incomplete at the 40-yard line. Saints couldn't quite hang on to it. Creighton saw the blitz and hit his receiver, but Brody Francis, the sophomore wide receiver, couldn't haul it in, so it's going to bring up 4th down for Shiloh and 6. Now remember, Griffin Mason is your primary punter, but he is injured. So if
you've got Beach back there. So Cohen Beach, he practices punting as well and very adequate in his own right. So I don't think there's any loss there if we do indeed punt. You've got the wind, strong wind behind Cohen here. Play clock's under 10.
Saints are looking. They may burn a timeout right here with 3. It's Creighton back deep to punt. There's a snap. Cole's going to kick it away. Angles it. Oh, good kick over the head of the return man for Siloam, and it's going to roll dead inside the 20-yard line. So Cole with a great punt. Do the math on that one, and it's going to be 62, I think, if I did my math right. 62-yard punt. So back to the 18-yard line are the Panthers backed up. But they do get the stop, kind of hang around a little bit in this game. 14-0 Shiloh here in the second quarter. So the Panthers, who've run a little bit of a different look tonight, have really been kind of stymied the last couple of possessions by the Saint defense. So we'll see if they change anything up. It doesn't look like it on the initial stat, as Marlott will come out. We'll have a wing coming this way. There's the handoff. Now cut back inside is short, and he'll be up to the 23. There's a flag down, and a helmet is loose off of a Siloam player as well. They'll pick the flag up, but they're going to replace the player who lost his helmet. So second down. So Cliff, is it my imagination, or have we seen more players in the last few weeks lose their helmet?
I mean, you watch any game Saturdays with colleges, it's almost like they don't have them buckled up, you know? I mean, I've seen so many guys lose their helmets on a play. I've seen some even just run, and before the tackle even happens, their helmet starts coming off.
Short got 5 there to the 23. They're going to hand it this way, and nothing doing. 3 white shirts with Gonzalez leading the charge. Will yank the defender down. He may even have lost a yard there, so it's going to bring up third down and about 5 for the Panthers. So good job by the Saint defense after a good gain of 5 on first down to hold them to no yards and now make a third down and 5. Panthers have only tried to throw it twice tonight, have been unsuccessful in both attempts. So we'll see on 3rd and 5 if they continue to try to keep it on the ground here, trailing 14-0 with 5:40 to go in the first half. Now they'll kind of check out as Marlott has a receiver to his left. Saints kind of back off of him a little bit. They're going to run the end around coming this way, and there is nothing but a bunch of white shirts waiting on him. So they ran it on the end around to short, and he got hit in the backfield. He'll lose yards. Shiloh's going to take a timeout with 5:20 to go in the first half to kind of lengthen this half a little bit before the Panthers go to punt. But Cliff, you got to give our defensive a lot of credit. After, the first drive, they had a good drive, stalled out. Second drive had a couple quick first downs, and since that point, Shiloh D has just shut them down.
Yeah, they really have. Just this kind of offense, this kind of run game, it just takes a moment to adjust. And we talked about that opening drive, that it may take a few plays just for our guys on the defensive side to adjust to the misdirection and the line pulling in certain ways and just kind of figuring it out. Our defense has figured it out, and with 5:20 remaining here and almost certain punt situation for Siloam, boy, they're going to be punting from south to north into a really strong breeze here. So I expect Shiloh to get really good field position off of this punt here.
So the Panthers will punt. Dalton Carnes will be standing back at midfield.
Looking at another score here that we're watching in our conference, Mountain Home at Lake Hamilton. Both of them 3-1 in the conference. Mountain Home has an early 16-0 lead.
There's a kick angled coming this way. Boy, that's going to be a tough kick. Carnes feels it to take it down immediately, but give Dalton a lot of credit. That ball was knuckling and spinning in the wind. That was a tough ball to catch. It's one of those Bill Belichick left-footed punts that he used to like to say. That was a tough one. Good job of Dalton. No return, but he also didn't give up any yards with the ball rolling. So Saints will start on our side of the field, but only need a yard to get to midfield at the 49-yard line. Trips to the right. Creighton's got Max Eldridge and his back. Blitz coming. Saints hand it off to Eldridge this way. He's got a hole, but a great open field tackle at the 47-yard line made there by the Panthers. Victor Toledo. Good job by Toledo. Boy, it looked like he had something there, and Toledo got off his block and got him down. Gain of 4. To the Shiloh moves it across midfield to the 47. Creighton going to run it again, coming this way to the 45, to the 40 is Henley, and he's down to the 37. That'll move the chains, a gain of 10 and a Shiloh first down.
Carter Henley doesn't get the ball and doesn't get to carry the ball much, but when he does, he's usually pretty effective. Picked up 10 yards right there.
Eldridge coming this way on the counter. Got a hole. There's a flag, though. Unfortunately, Max is going to carry it all the way down to the 24, but this one, unfortunately, is coming back. Looks like it's right in the middle of the field, so pretty likely a hold against Shiloh. Will back us up a little bit here. You're just tuning in. We're already at the 4:26 mark of the second quarter as you see the holding call against the Saints. Shiloh got a fumble early from the Panthers, scored quickly, and Shiloh scored on their last drive, set up by a long pass down the field by Creighton to Slider. Shiloh put it in the end zone on the Eldridge touchdown run with another drive here with 4:23 left to go in the first half. 14-0 our score. Creighton rolls to his right, looking, got time, throws it down the middle of the field, and it is incomplete at the 17. Carnes just couldn't quite pull that one in. Pretty good coverage there by the Panthers as they rolled the safety over to Dalton. So now it's going to bring up 2nd and 20 after the penalty. Shiloh leading 14-0 as the clock has already hit 4:09 in the first quarter. If you're just tuning in, you're like, man, how'd they burn so much time? Well, the Panthers have gone double wing on offense, burned a lot of play clock in between plays. So we've had a quick game. Handoff Eldridge. He makes one man miss, but not the second. And then taken down at the 42. Gains 5 there for Max. But it's 3rd down and 15, so the Saints have not been able to overcome, to this point, the penalty on the holding call. Shiloh probably, no doubt, in 4-down territory right here, so just like to pick up a big chunk of it back here on 3rd and 15. Eldridge and Kemp are to the left. They'll send Kemp in motion all the way across the formation. There's a snap, play action for Creighton, get some pressure, going to come this way. Cole's going to run to the 40. There's a flag to the 30. Cole stays in bounds, is out of bounds at the 22. But I'm afraid they're going to get Henley for a hold back at the 45. The Saint coaching staff is none too happy about that call. Both Coach Tucker Barnard and offensive coaches are not very happy. But either way, Shiloh's going to back up. And after 10 yards backwards, they're going to wind up back in their own territory at their own 48. So, Cliff, you don't see Coach Widger complain about very many calls, but he was very unhappy with that one.
Well, Coach Barnard and several coaches were. So, I was watching Cole running, wasn't watching behind there to see where a hold may have occurred. But now we're going to get.
I think we got somebody with some blood on the elbows, what it looks like to me. They were kind of pointing that way. Saints will have to run a different offensive lineman on as Wellborn. The offensive lineman will have to go out for a play. So 3rd and 25 here. Creighton play action. He fires over the middle. It's caught by Kemp at the 35, and he dives to the 30-yard line of Siloam. He doesn't get the first down, but a huge chunk play all the way down the left sideline to the 31 from the Saints' own 48. So a gain of 23 there, but so 4th down now and about 4 for the Saints. So they get most of that back and give a very manageable 4th down play as the clock rolls under 3 minutes to go here in the quarter. 14-0, Shiloh leading. 3 receivers to the right on this 4th down play. Eldridge is the only running back. Saints trying to overcome a couple penalties, and Siloam thinking about this play. They want a timeout to kind of set their defense. So Shiloh 14 and the Panthers of Siloam 0 with 2:47 left to go here in the first quarter. While we got a second and a quick moving game, we'll give you some of our sponsors of 2024 Shiloh Christian Football. Our championship sponsors, Fastlane Entertainment, Mossback Fish Habitat, Wright's Barbecue, C.R. Crawford Construction, Harp's Food Stores, Osage Air, Ty King DDS, Midland Industrial Services LLC, Bacchus Concrete, Stubbs Center for Cosmetic Surgery, or Playcox by Arkansas Children's Hospital Northwest. Platinum sponsors of Shiloh Christian Football, Harris CPA LLC, Elite Masonry, Goldfish Swim School of Rogers, Carbon Designs, First National Bank, the Rogers Insurance Agency, Family Legacy Planning, Tasseret Fab LLC, Williams Tractor, Canis, Eclipse Construction, Loma, Teamwork Core Value Signs by the Creighton family, PRZ CPA and Advisors, and Focus Family Air Care and Black Hive. Some of our sponsors of 2024 Shiloh Christian Football. So 4th and 4 for the Saints at the 31 of the Panthers. Kemp's in motion. Creighton with a hard count. Boy, did they jump? They did. The Panthers jump off sides on 4th and 4 and give a early Christmas gift to Shiloh. And it's a first down for the Saints after the penalty. So, Cliff, that's what you want right there. That's why you do the hard counts.
Absolutely. If you're Shiloh, that's what you want. And they were going to run a play anyway and try to pick up the first down, but free gift from the Panthers. And if you're Siloam, that's not what you want to do. You cannot commit mistakes like that, penalties like that, when you're in a pretty close game here with a really good team.
Creighton's going to hand it off, coming this way to Henley, and he's going to be taken down from behind at the 25-yard line. So Henley gets a yard. 2:39 left to go. Clock running in the second quarter. The Panthers have slowed the game down by running a little bit of double wing, slow in tempo, and to their credit, have played pretty good defense. It really made the Saints work for both scores here. 3 receivers to the right. Henley's going to shift to the left. Back, Cole, screen coming this way to Henley, incomplete at the 30. Couldn't catch it cleanly out of the backfield, but the Panthers had a man flying up who was going to make that tackle either way, so play wasn't going to really go anywhere on second down.
Then after the play on the far side of the field, a flag was thrown. Not sure what happened there. If there's a little extracurricular activity down the field from one of our receivers. You see Max Eldridge there, number 0, kind of holding his palms up like, man, what's the call? Why'd you call it on me? So we'll see what the officials come up with here.
Well, they put it in their.
Well,
Yep, there he goes. So late personal foul. Saints have been very aggressive tonight blocking down the field, and they may have thought it was a little bit too much there.
You see Coach Barner pleading his case there on the sidelines. Just, again, I didn't see what happened from where we were, but that's a really costly penalty there on 3rd down, 15 yards.
So now it's 3rd down and a mile. Saints need to get all the way to the 16 of Siloam. Back to pass, Creighton throws it deep down the left side to Kemp, who's got it inside the 10 and down at the 6-yard line. Boy, I don't know how Chandler got behind the DB of Siloam on 3rd and a 25, but the Saints pick it up and get a first down and goal with 2:08 left to go in the quarter at the 6. So talk about overcoming your own penalties and mistakes. Shiloh does it right there. 1st and goal at the 6. Here's Eldridge coming left. Nope, Creighton's going to pull it. Cole's going to get to the 3, to the 2, to the 1. Did he get in? Nope, not quite. Just down at the 1-yard line. So Cole with really the first real true run we've seen since he's come back from injury. Looked aggressive there. We like to see that. 2nd and goal. This has Max Eldridge written all over it. Max, there it is, in the end zone. Touchdown, Shiloh.
He just hurdled the pile. He didn't try to go low and power his way through. He knows he probably doesn't need to do that as a 9th grader right now, but everybody was collapsed down on the ground. What did Max do? He just jumps over them into the end zone. Makes it look very easy.
The officials are talking in the back part of the end zone. There's a flag on the end zone. They're looking at the Shiloh bench. I think they're going to call an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the Saints, which since they're talking to the Siloam sideline, you would assume that they would take this on the kickoff. There isn't a crowd mic, but the official did call an unsportsmanlike penalty on the Saints after the touchdown. So touchdown counts, and Siloam will make the Saints kick it off back as Pullen's extra point is up, and it is good. 1:40 left to go in the first half, as we'll see the replay coming here. Max Eldridge's 1-yard touchdown run. Just a great job by the Saint offensive line. Just nothing, no stopping whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the penalty was there, but nonetheless, flag thrown, 1:40 left here. Shiloh up 21-0, and it really feels like it should be more than that, but this game has just kind of drug on, and Shiloh has kind of shot themselves in the foot a few times with penalties. But I know Coach Barnard liked getting one more score in here before half. Still a lot of time. They could potentially, with 2 timeouts left, make a stop here, score again quickly. They would love to do that because coming out of half, again, they get the ball. And, teams talk about all the time, just that middle 8, be great in the middle 8. And Shiloh has done that here in these final 4 minutes of the first half. And, again, coming out of the half, getting the ball, they want to make something happen there as well.
That Mountain Home and Lake Hamilton game we're watching, Mountain Home with a 16-0 lead. They are just like us, about a minute to go in the first half. If the Saints were to win tonight and Mountain Home were to win tonight, they would both be 4-1. But of course, Shiloh with the tiebreaker over Mountain Home as they won in North Central Arkansas a few weeks ago. Pullen kick it into the wind's going to get to the 25, up the field to the 40, and then just kind of plugging his way through, pushing guys, and down to the 44. 1:31 left. Saints have 2 timeouts, which you would think if they can get a first down run that doesn't gain any yardage or minimum, they may use some timeouts and be aggressive here. As Shiloh, as Cliff mentioned, will get the ball to start the second half. Shiloh won the toss and said, we want the ball first. At the 44.
I think Silent Springs here will just continue to do what they've been doing. They want to run out this clock, get in the end zone if they can, but they want to run out the clock. They're not going to try anything funny here, but they don't want to give the ball back to Shiloh if they can help it.
Man in motion, quarterback's going to keep it right up the middle, and he'll get a yard, and that's about it as Flores kept that. So Flores and Marlett will kind of rotate at quarterback. This is the first time we've really seen Flores, but just a run there. He'll get 2, second down. Saints don't use a timeout there as they have 2 remaining, but they can use it after second and third down. So 1:10 to go on the clock, 25 on the game clock. We'll see if the Panthers want to try anything. They're going into the wind here, so passing's going to be a little bit of a challenge. Flores is going to keep it again, and Hudson Ball's got him there, dropped down. Saints don't use a timeout here. They're going to...
Yeah, I'm really surprised they didn't use one right there.
They use it right there. 43 seconds to go in the clock. I think they were trying to decide if they wanted to make it 3rd and 10. So 42 seconds left. Saints will have 1 timeout left, so they can stop it after this play if they choose to do so, and then try to get the offense, which will be backed up, a long way to go, but an opportunity here at the end of the first half. Again, some of our 2024 sponsors of Shiloh Christian Football, Platinum sponsors, TRS Healthcare, Impressions Online Boutique, Retriever Academy, Sims and Renter Insurance, Alecki Construction, Prestige Consumer Healthcare, Riggs Contract and Concrete Specialist, AR Care, Ozark Sportsman, The Story Law Firm, ERC, and Universal Supply Company. I also want to remind you that Shiloh Christian's Legacy Brick Donation Program is back for a limited time. You can reserve your space in the Victory Walk in front of the indoor athletic facility at Champion Stadium. Starting at $500, Legacy Bricks are a way to support your Shiloh athletics and remain a part of the Saints tradition for years to come. Reserve your space today by visiting ShilohAthletics.com. As we come back, 3rd down and 10 coming up for the Panthers. 42 seconds left to go in the first half of this football game. Panthers are going to have to punt it away if they don't pick up 10 yards here, and we'll see how quickly the Saints can go down the field in now probably 30 seconds. Flores with 2 H-backs to the left. He'll send a man in motion now back to the right. He's just going to run it on the right side on a power formation. He's going to be taken off his feet at the 47. Saints will use a quick timeout as the clock's still going, so we'll see if they add any time back to it or not.
Well, I saw when the official's waving his hand blowing the whistle is at 41, so clock continued to run to 38.7. I don't know if they'll add a few more seconds on or just leave it as is, but it brings up 4th and long for Siloam, so they will have to definitely punt the ball into the wind. Oh, a couple of punts already tonight. Shiloh has come very close to blocking it, so be aware of bringing a little pressure there, and the center has just the deep snappers kind of snapped them back real softly and a little bit of an arc to it, and they've just really taken their time. We saw Shiloh break open a block punt last week against Russellville.
Yeah, saw Brody Francis block that big punt against Mountain Home that kind of really changed that game in the third quarter. So got to feel like the Saints are going to come after this one hard. And it's one of those that even if you were to rough the punter, you still only move the ball to your 40. So there's some little bit of a reward here with a little risk. Short's the punter. They will send Cohen Beach back deep. Saints are actually look like they're not going to come after. They're like they're going to play in kind of a safe zone just to make sure that Siloam doesn't want to fake it.
Well,
or you're setting
again,
up a return too.
30-something seconds left. By the time Shiloh gets the snap, they will. They've got an adequate quarterback in Cole Creighton back there that can obviously throw it downfield. You've got all kinds of different receivers that can get down there from slider to we've seen Kemp make a big play, Carnes. So Shiloh can definitely get the ball in the air and down the field and put another score on the board before half. Well, they did add 3 seconds, so we're at 41 now.
So short back to punt. Saints again kind of in a defense. They may try to just set up a return here. There's a snap. Short's punt. Great kick. Way high. Beach is going to have to fair catch it and falls down at the 25-yard line. But good job of Cohen by catching it there. But good high punt by Short. No return. So Shiloh will have 33 seconds and no timeouts from their own 25-yard line. We'll see if they can get anything deep down the field. Probably take a shot. Again, really strong wind, and you got a quarterback who can throw it 50, 60 yards in the air. So arm strength is not the problem here. Trips to the right. Panthers with man-on-man coverage out there, so it's interesting. Back to pass. Quick hitter out that's going to be caught by Kemp. He runs out of bounds immediately at the 36. Siloam gave him some space right there. 28 seconds, as you can see on the clock. Saints with no timeouts. Ball at their now on 36. Trips to the right, Kemp to the left, back to pass. Looking, they're going to roll right this time down the middle of the field. It's caught by Slaughter. He's got to try to get down or out of bounds. Slaughter just stays on his feet, and he's all the way down to the 43-yard line of Siloam. Clock will stop with 16 seconds left to go in the first half. Saints have no timeouts. Clock will stop while they reset the chains, and then they will go quickly. There goes the clock. Eldridge gets in the slot to the left. Seeing this way, there's a pass out. It's going to be caught by Carnes at the 26. He's tackled with 6 seconds. But unfortunately, there's a flag at the own 48-yard line, and I think they're going to get the Saints for a holding call right here. So the holding call, and there's also a man down for the Panthers right next to the flag. Holding against Shiloh, so that will probably get it to the point where you're going to be backed up at your own 42 after this penalty with 6 seconds left and no timeout. It's going to make anything really difficult here at the end of the half, and hopefully the Siloam player, you can kind of see the top left corner of your screen down at the 48 is going to be okay. So Cliff, we'll kind of wrap this half up, and we'll kick it down to the field here in about 6 seconds for halftime. But Siloam had a game plan. They wanted to just run the football, run the clock, try to slow the game down. And to some extent, they've had some success, but the Saints have done enough on offense to kind of stretch this out a little bit.
Yeah, it just took the Shiloh defense a little, as you said, just some adjusting to this run game, but they have made adjustments. Siloam Springs had the ball 6 drives here in the first half. Their first one ended with a turnover on downs, and then Shiloh's first score came off of a fumble, and then Siloam has punted the next 4 drives. So, yeah, the Saint defense has done a great job of keeping the run game. They bent a little bit, but they've really put up the wall when they needed to.
At the own 47, Eldridge will come back behind. They'll throw it out in the flat to here for Max to the 50, to the 45, to the 40. Max to the 35, to the 30. And he's going to be pulled out of bounds at the 28-yard line as the clock ends the first half. So Saints get up a bunch of yardage there, but no timeouts, really nothing. Not much you could do with only 6 seconds left to go at the first half. So Shiloh will go into the halftime leading 21-0 over the Panthers of Siloam, as the Saints will get the ball to start the second half. So we'll kick it down to the field for our halftime festivities. At halftime here, Panther Stadium in Siloam, it's the Saints 21 and the Panthers 0.
Take it out on the right person.
Very nice effort. This back against the Middletown community proud supporter of the Siloam Free School District. On the field now, Panthers cheer.
Look at that!
Ladies and gentlemen, Panthers cheer. forward your very own Shiloh Springs High School marching band. The band is under the direction of Daniel High, Tyler Lewis, Peter Catrino, Melissa Russell, and Tyler Austin, with additional assistance from Jacob Skaggs, Ashley Estes, Anna Barker, Nick Soderquist, and Clyde Bennett, Elijah Lowe, and Darcy Angle. The 2024 competitive program is entitled Dots, inspired by the artwork of Japanese artist Ryori Kasumi. Our show illustrates how bright canvas can emerge into a world teeming with colors and dots. Within our ensemble, dots symbolize the individual contribution of each member and the distinct and vital aims to our organization. Cheer us on at War Memorial Stadium in Maryland on November 6th as the band puts on their state marching celebration. Romans, James Gomez, Tony Sykes, Cindy Chavez, and Mia Radford. Is your band ready? Shiloh Springs Marching Band may now take the field for your performance.
Just After all, skipping is a requirement. Some is a requirement because rhythm is also a requirement.
That's the way it should work, yeah, yeah. I know some people gon' look at me crazy and I'm like, for what? Man, I was stuck, I was down, but now I'm up, yeah. It's all God, this ain't no love, yeah. I used to be stuck in that mud, yeah. Yeah, I was down, but now I'm up. I was down, but now I'm
down, now I'm up like a seesaw. When I'm on a beat like an old man's lawn, better keep off. From the ground to the treetops, got clouds on my feet like Jack in the Beanstalk. Jumped off quick, went straight in a free fall. Cowboy hat and a mic singing yeehaw. Landed on my feet like a feline, put him back in the seat like a recline. Ay, what you mean I'm not worthy? Did it with a purpose, didn't need a permit. Digging from the bottom and I brought it to the surface. Mind your business now, who I worship. Who the little guy making big, big, big moves. Tick tock, turn it to a tick, 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 boom. Yeah, I talk a lot of stuff, probably thought it was a bluff, till I went and turned it where
I was down, but now I'm up. Let's go. Yeah. It's all God, this ain't no love. Yeah, I used to be stuck in that mud. Yeah, yeah, I was down, but now I'm up. I was down, but now I'm up.
I told my mama it's gonna be okay. Papa told me it's gonna be okay. I just pray that I'm walking in faith. Any other way is not the way. I've been on the run a lot of days, trying to fill my heart with other things. Lost a couple this cursing walking faith. Daily we paving these better days. I've been on the rock, I've been praising God. New vision in my eyes, brought me back to life. All of my demons waving goodbye. Watching this heaven fall down inside. All my life I've been running wild. How I end up the problem child. I've been hurting and pain went viral. Ooh, child, where did your mind go now? Mama told me to turn that down. I've been hurting and pain went viral. I guess I'm the problem child. I'm the problem child. Save me, come save me. Save me, won't somebody save me? Save me, come save me. Save me, save me. Wrapped in amazing, amazing grace, so amazing. Yeah, yeah, nah, 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 that's amazing. Somebody save me, somebody save me. Somebody, Jesus, please save me. If I ascend to the heavens, I know you'll be there. Make my bed in the depths, I know you'll be there. Oh, they wanna take my life, but I already gave it away. Pain always comes in the night, but joy comes in the day. I can't be what they want, but I could always do it for you. I can't see the sun, but I know it's shining through. If I ascend to the heavens, I know you'll be there. Make my bed in the depths, I know you'll be there. Ooh, I know you'll be there. Ooh, 'cause you said you'd be there. Night's gonna shine like day. Dark isn't darkness to you. Light's gonna guide my way. The only place I found it was truth. If I'm gonna sing to the nations, I'll testify of all that you do. Curses upon generations, they all break away when it's you. If I ascend to the heavens, I know you'll be there. Make my bed in the depths, I know you'll be there. Ooh, I know you'll be there. Ooh, 'cause you said you'd be there. 'Cause you said you'd be there. Ooh, 'cause you said you'd be there.
Beat heaven, heaven
ain't always get it right. Tell me why every night I be in the booth, gotta lift the name up. I've been done smoking on blunts with the homies since I figured out the God was so much better than drugs. They ain't really rocking with what I got in my cup. Got that little water and I keep on filling up. Take another sip, I'm overflowing with the dripping. If I do it for the kingdom, so reminded when I'm up. Every night I feel alive when the light hit my eyes, reject my flesh, and my heart fills up. If I'm right, then I'm right, I'm a rise.
Welcome back to Panther Stadium in Siloam Springs, Arkansas. We are at halftime where the Saints of Shiloh lead the Siloam Springs Panthers by a score of 21-0. And Cliff, as we kind of talk about the first half, Siloam went a little bit of double wing, slowed things down from a tempo perspective, but the Saints defensively adjusted, and the offense, while not as many possessions as really they even had the first quarter last week, were able to be effective, really move the ball well at times, but through the air this week, a little different look.
Oh, absolutely, a much different look. Shiloh, and really Siloam too, both teams, 6 drives in the first half, but Shiloh making all of the, putting it all in the end zone and putting the points up, 21-0 here. Cole Creighton, a great first half, 17 of 23 passing for 243 yards. We haven't seen that in several weeks, maybe all season in a half. So good to see Cole connecting with his receivers. His leading receiver is Zane Slider. Zane's got 6 catches for 107 yards. Chandler Kemp, 4 catches for 75. Dalton Carnes, 5 catches for 32. And then the leading rusher, although limited in action, is Griffin Mason, 7 carries for 34 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he left early with an injury, so we'll see if he can come back tonight.
Saints at the 15 to the 20 up the field. He's got some room to the 30, to the 35, to the 40. Can we turn the corner? We can. 50 to the 40 and out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Salter on the return, and it's going to be a good one all the way, let's say stepped out at the 34. But a great return by Salter to the 34-yard line of the Panthers. So great field position to start half number 2. And this one, Saints up 21-0 at the half. Update score from that Lake Hamilton and Mountain Home game we've been watching. Mountain Home had a 100-yard pick 6 to end the first half, and they lead at 23-0, the Bombers, over Lake Hamilton. Creighton's going to fire it out in the flat. It's caught by Carnes. He's up the field to the 30. Great cut by Dalton to the 25, and then he stays in bounds before finally being pushed into the kicking net across the way at the 24, but a gain of 10 should be enough to move the chains, or if he is short, he's short by an inch. There's the first down signal. So first down, they'll move the chains. Gain of 10 for Carnes. So mentioned that Lake Hamilton Mountain Home game. Both teams came in 3-1. There's the snap. Creighton's going to fire it out to Slaughter. He's got one man to beat, and he's trying to get away and can't do it. He's taken down at the 19-yard line. Good open field tackle there by Anderson for the Panthers. He was the last line of defense. As Slaughter breaks that tackle, he's gone. But Saints get it down. A gain of 5 on the pass to Slaughter. Through the air, Shiloh moving it. Kemp in motion to behind the quarterback here this time. Handoff coming this way. Up the middle, Eldridge to the 10, to the 5. Takes a hit and scores. Touchdown. And boy, oh boy, did the Saint offensive line do a good job. We've got 2 Panthers down. And part of the reason that they are down is big number 70, Ben Carlisle, got a double pancake block. The film will be fun for Ben on Monday or Sunday for that one, as 2 Panthers get pancaked on Eldridge's touchdown run. So Max with the touchdown here to start the half. And extra point coming for the Saints, up 27-0. Took Shiloh just 52 seconds to put it in the end zone as the extra point is up and good. So 11:08 to go in the third quarter. Saints extend their lead to 28-0. And so we're going to encourage you to watch the offensive line, because you're about to see a pancake right here.
Look at 70 right in the middle.
Boom, right there.
And also, I'm not sure who's next to him there. Couldn't see the number, but great job by the offensive line, creating just a big-time push there. Makes it, again, very easy for the running backs. And they'll be the first ones to thank their guys for creating the hole and creating the push. Max Eldridge, his 3rd touchdown of the night, 6 rushes, 46 yards, 3 touchdowns. It's a pretty good night, but we've seen Max do it all season long.
Yeah, Max, a really talented running back, particularly, Cliff, all season I've just been so impressed that, Max isn't like just some weird 6'2" ninth grader. I mean, he is not a huge kid in stature, but he never seems to get tackled going backwards. It's always impressive.
He's extremely strong. He's a wrestler, and just really strong for his size and his age. I mean, again, a 9th grader, and you just see him bounce off of tackles. And it just goes to show you, if you don't go low and wrap up the legs, it doesn't matter what size the runner is. The runner's not going to go down. You got to tackle low.
Pullen's kick's taken at the 10, and great coverage by the guys in white as Siloam's going to start this one at their own 22-yard line. Whole bunch of white jerseys there. Getting that one, Beach, Yalanen, several others there on the stop of the kick return. So at the 22, Siloam will get their first possession the second half. They give up a really quick touchdown and trail 28-0. Saints just one more score away from getting a running clock in this third quarter early on. Silo up 28-0 after scoring on the opening drive. Panthers going to come back out in the double wing to start the half. Quarterback's going to hand it to the fullback, and Sid Scott says, I'm not going to have that. At the 20-yard line, he gobbles that up, so Sid drops him for a loss of 2, so 2nd and 12. And Siloam offense, which had a little bit of success running this wing, double wing look the first 2 drives, have had nothing since.
Some other scores from the 6A West. You talked about Mount Home beating Lake Hamilton 23-0 in the third quarter. We get Lake Hamilton at home next week for senior night, our final regular season game at Champion Stadium. Russellville 24-14 over Fort Smith Southside. Greenwood all over Van Buren 49-7.
Short coming this way. He breaks a tackle to the 30 and then runs over a man and pushes his way out to the 35, so Short with the first down. Henley came over and made the stop, but is Panthers going to move the chains out to the 35. So, yeah, Cliff, kind of looking at the division, Greenwood's going to stay undefeated. Looks like they'll be 5-0 after tonight. Looks like Shiloh and Mountain Home will both go to 4-1 after tonight. So, Saint win next week. I'll do the math here in a second after this play. There's a quick dive up the middle for the Panthers, no bet, but I believe, Cliff, and my math will be right. Saints win next week. That should clinch this 2 seed because you would have the tiebreaker over Mountain Home. So if you can stay tied with that, with them at that point. So big one coming up with Lake Hamilton. And so as Cliff mentioned earlier in the game, if you were just tuning in, the playoffs, the way they're set up, the 1 seed and the 2 seed out of the East and the West wind up with a bye in the first round. So that's really what you want to play for. Get that first round bye, then you would host a playoff game in the second round. So at maximum, you only have to travel 1 time in the playoffs. You would certainly take that. Wing around, coming this way and taking off his feet hard as Yolanda comes up from a safety spot to knock him off his feet at the 35. So good tackle by A.J. there. A loss of 1 for the Panthers, 2nd and 11.
Yeah, and looking at the 6A East Conference, Benton, we were watching Benton and Little Rock Catholic, 2 undefeated teams out of the 6A East. Benton all over Little Rock Catholic, 28-0. Kind of a little upset here in the third quarter. Still a lot of time left, though. Sheridan 15, Marion 14. Marion came into that game also undefeated in conference play, and Sheridan was 1-3. So interesting to see that score.
Back to pass this time. Panthers going to try to throw it, and now they do throw it. It's incomplete to avoid the sack. They're going to say there was a receiver in the area, so quarterback got rid of it to avoid the sack. As Pullen had him and was yanking him to the ground, but quarterback's able to get rid of it. Although I say that, there's a flag down at the 23-yard line. The official who was nearby pointed at number 5 in maroon and said he was the intended receiver, but instead they call intentional grounding on the Panthers. So maybe after discussion they decided he wasn't close enough. So Panthers are going to get called for intentional grounding, which is a loss of down, and now it'll bring up 4th down and long, and the Panthers will punt as Dalton Carnes will head back deep to receive. So the officials do call the intentional grounding there, and the Panthers short will come in to punt. Done a good job tonight, kind of punting into the wind here early in the third quarter. If the Saints had scored 1 more time in this, we'll get the running clock in this game, already leading 28-0. There's the snap. Kick is away. Colbert got good pressure. It's kind of fluttering around the 48. It's going to go sideways, and the Panthers will down it right there. Shiloh will start on the Panther end of the field at the 48-yard line with 8:26 to go in the third quarter. Shiloh up 28-0.
So, yeah, 8:26 remaining here. Shiloh have great field position on this drive. Their second drive of the second half. They scored just a few moments ago. Max Eldridge, the 19-yard run up the middle, but Shiloh will be at the Siloam Springs 48.
Trips right for Creighton. Play action to Eldridge. Pumps, got a man wide open. Slaughter down the left sideline to the 20, 15, 10, 5, end zone, touchdown. They faked it to Eldridge and threw the bomb down the right sideline, and Slaughter was all alone for the walk-in touchdown. So one play, 48 yards, and the Saints have a 34-0 lead. And Cliff, you couldn't have drawn that one up any better, just perfect execution.
Yeah, just a mismatch and confusion on the outside for Siloam Springs. Nobody covering Luke Slaughter. I just don't know how that happens when you've got good receivers and you know coming into this game you're facing a team that has really good receivers. Got to stick with them. So just some miscommunication in the backfield of Siloam Springs, and Shiloh makes them pay.
Pullen's kick is good. So 8:16 to go in the third quarter. Saints up 35-0. As you see the replay here, Saints play action to Eldridge, and Slaughter just went down the sideline untouched. Nobody covered him for the Panther defense as they kind of been on the bubble. The Saints have thrown that a lot tonight, and the Panthers have been on it. So 35-0, 8:16 to go third quarter as Shiloh will kick off. Aiden Pullen has got his work in tonight on offense, defense, special teams, and a lot of kicking, which is when you're kicking on, when your kicker's kicking off, a lot of times you know you're having a good night. But we'll get the clock continuously running now in a 35-0 game.
For Zane Slaughter, that was his 8th catch tonight for 159 yards. Touchdown there, so great night for the junior receiver. And then for Cole Creighton, that's his 20th completion out of 26 passes, 20 of 26 for 306 yards. So great night in the air. Just hadn't seen that the past several weeks, and Shiloh hadn't really needed that. They've get out to the big lead last week against Russellville, and then you could just kind of pound it out on the ground. But they're having success in the air tonight.
Good kick by Pullen, taken all the way back at the 5. They're going to try to run the reverse to this side and coming around and then taken down at the 27. Good job of coverage by the Saints as they kind of ran the reverse off the middle handoff off the return. A little different wrinkle off the reverse, but Shiloh was able to cover it at the 27-yard line, so 7:57 to go. And again, we'll have a continuous running clock, so we had a really quick first quarter. We're going to have a really quick end to this game, too, with the running clock. So Panthers, who have kept it kind of primarily on the ground tonight, really only attempted 3 passes, and one of them was an intentional grounding. We'll see if they change the look a little bit with Flores in the shotgun this time. He's going to keep it upon the right side, trying to bounce outside to the 30, to the 35. Good run by Flores up to the 36. He's brought him down by Yolanin, but he picks up 8. Second down for the Panthers. And so we talked about Flores and Marlott, the two kind of intertwine at quarterback, both mix and match a little bit. His best run of the night at the 36. They're going to run the exact same play coming back this side. He's to the 40 and then taking off his feet at the 41. But Flores will get the first down. And he may be injured as he's a little bit of slow getting up. So hate to see that for the Siloam quarterback. Will Anderson made the stop for the Saints.
Yeah, Will coming up from the safety. I don't know if he was the one that really laid Flores out, or it looked like several guys were in on the tackle, but you see Flores he's feeling it right now. And I don't know if he was hit maybe in the helmet there. He's just holding his head a little bit, so it may have been a little bit of a head shot that he took there on the tackle.
Yeah, you wonder, Cliff maybe took a knee to the helmet or something. That happens sometimes in a pile like that where he kind of fell forward. Hope he's okay, but you hate to see that at this point of the game. So they're going to slowly lift him up and check on him. But Cliff will kind of look ahead as they tend to Flores a little bit to next week. Lake Hamilton comes in, another new opponent for the Saints, and their team in some ways, I'm sure the coaching staff probably won't mind the fact that Siloam came out in a double wing because Lake Hamilton's a team that heavily is a power run team. They'll run a lot of what you've seen tonight. So in some ways, kind of get a fresh look at it from a defensive perspective. But you know, they're a team, Cliff, in the 6A. They just seem to always make some noise in the playoffs.
Yeah, and they've been a successful program through the years and had some great teams through the years, competed and made some pretty deep runs as they competed against Greenwood there in the 6A West, again, through the years. But this year they're doing okay, but tonight they're struggling, and I think it will pay off for these Saints to have faced this type of an offense tonight against Siloam Springs, and then you've got a similar type of offense next week. So this is almost like a scrimmage or a practice for next week's game. And so, you know, we talked about the adjustments that Shiloh has made after that first drive, and they've done a great job of shutting down this run game. Again, they've given up some at times, but nothing big, nothing that's hurt them. And I think this will just carry on into next week, which will be, again, another special week. Senior night. We've got 15 seniors this year that have been very successful. We'll talk more about them next week. But, yeah, it'll be interesting to see as Lake Hamilton comes and we play them for the first time.
Handoff on the left side, Short with a big run. He breaks it to the 45 to the 40. He's got one man to beat. Can he get to the corner? He can. It's going to be a Siloam touchdown off the left side. So Short, who has really had a good night running the football, broke a tackle on the left sidelines and takes it down for a 58-yard touchdown run with 6:20 to go in the third quarter as Siloam gets on the board for the first time tonight. It's 35-6.
Again, runners hit at the line, and Shiloh not able to wrap him up. And it looked like Will Anderson was the only one coming from the far side that had a chance playing the safety position, had a chance to get him down, but not able to run all the way across the field down the sideline to make the tackle. So Siloam does put it in for their first score.
Panthers going to run their swinging gate, and it's not very effective as the quarterback did a handoff to no one. So two-point conversion fails. It's 35-6 as we'll see the replay here. Just a handoff on the left,
right
missed
there
tackle.
You had a chance, and then you had one kind of a block in the back, and then there's Will trying to run him down and not able to catch up to him. And so something positive there for the Panthers. Again, they've struggled tonight. They've struggled stopping Shiloh's offense through the air. But something for them to build off of themselves here.
So the Panthers with the long 58-yard touchdown run, 35-6 is our score as Siloam will kick it off, and they get on the board here in the third quarter. Saints will send Kemp, Salter, and Eldridge back deep to receive the punt. Panthers don't show any kind of obvious onside kick. Looks like they're going to kick it deep. And they kind of a pooch punt this time. Going to be taken by Colbert. He's going to come all the way across the field at 25 to the 30. Gray's got the room to the 40. Spins off a man of the 45 and is going to be taken down. Good return by Gray to the 46-yard line. As he may have got rolled up a little bit toward the end of that run. Hope he's okay. And he is down. So Gray had a good return. I think he kind of got rolled up a little bit there at the end of that return. So clock will stop with 4:20 left to go. So Saints will get it back after Siloam's first score of the night. While they check on Gray, we'll give you looking at his kind of knee, lower body there, so hopefully nothing too serious with the senior cornerback. We'll give you some sponsors of 2024 Shiloh Christian Football. Elite Video sponsors, Geo Services, Roush Coleman Homes, McClarty Daniel. Champion Video sponsors, Chick-fil-A of Springdale, Mr. Sparky Telecom, Mathis Home, and Pavecom. Elite Visitor Press Box by Smith & Davis Orthodontics. Scoreboard by Arvest. Elite Championship sponsors, Reliable Poultry, Roush Coleman Homes, Quality Millwork, and Advanced Primary Care. Championship sponsors, Fast Lane Entertainment, Mossback Fish Habitat, Wright's Barbecues. We see Gray getting helped up there, so maybe a cramp, hopefully. We'll see. He's kind of a little bit slow coming off, but walking under his own power, so that's a good sign. Mentioned championship sponsors, Wright's Barbecue, C.R. Crawford Construction, Harp's Food Stores, Osage Air, Ty King DDS, Midland Industrial Services LLC, Backus Concrete, Stubb Center for Cosmetic Surgery, and Play Clocks Bar, Arkansas Children's Northwest. Saints at the 46, trips to the right on first down. Creighton's going to fire it out. It's caught by Kemp to the 45 to midfield, down the right sideline to the 40, and Chandler's going to be run out of bounds at the 42. They'll say he stepped out of bounds there, so gain of 12 on that play. 1st and 10 for the Saints at the 42 of the Panthers. Slider in motion coming this way. Creighton looks, pumps, going to want to throw deep. Doesn't have anything. Cole's going to take off down. Now he throws it, and what a pass to the 10, to the 5, trying to stay in bounds, diving for the end zone. And they're going to say he's out of bounds at the 1. Boy, that's a tough call.
Back here right at the 49-yard line, about where Cole was rolling out and releasing the pass, there's going to be a hold call, unfortunately, so that'll negate another nice throw by Cole Creighton after the hold call.
Well, that's a tough one there as Cole kind of scrambled out and did a great job of keeping his head up and looking down the field, found the open receiver, but this is going to come back. Saints have had some penalty yardage tonight.
Yeah, I've got them for 8 penalties. I'm not tracking the yardage, but, boy, I think we're probably, what would you say, 60, 70 yards in penalties maybe?
Yeah, it certainly feels like they've
Feels like 200.
Yeah, it does. Unfortunately, the Saints have overcome most of them tonight. We'll have to overcome another one here. Screen to Kemp. He's got some room to the 45, to the 40. It's a foot race. 35-30. 25 cuts back into the 20, the 15, the 10. Kemp will score. Touchdown, Shiloh. Chandler takes the bubble screen for a 52-yard touchdown pass down the sidelines. He cut it back for the last 7, and the Saints get the touchdown that the Panthers score right back. It's 41-6 with 2:23 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, just a pretty simple passing catch there from your quarterback to your receiver, but a very nice run by the junior receiver, Chandler Kemp, as he's taking it down the sidelines and makes a cut back to the right, zips back to the left, gets around the defenders, and able to run it in for the 52-yard score. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So really nice catch, a run after the catch there by Chandler Kemp. You see the replay here. Good blocking on the outside. He outruns the defender, and then you'll see the cutback right here at the 20. Zip, kind of hits him in the helmet as he runs by him, runs it in for the end zone for the touchdown.
Cliff, we went 52 yards, and the play clock didn't even run out before we scored. So that's the kind of football we like to see right there for the Saints as they score quickly, 42-6. Now Shiloh led 21-0 at halftime and have really kind of pulled away a quick touchdown early to start the second half, and then a long touchdown bomb got the running clock, and then Saints piled it on. So Cliff, since I think the second or third drive, I believe we scored a touchdown every possession, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and look at it, but I think you're right. Touchdown, we got 3 in a row, 4 in a row, a punt, 5, 6, yeah, turnover on downs, and then 1 punt. But
8 possessions, 6 touchdowns with a punt and a turnover downs. Been very effective since being stopped on 2 of the first 4 series. There's a kick by pulling this, rolling it into the end zone for a touchback. So love those type of kicks that you don't have to do a return. And if you don't know the rule of high school football, once the ball touches the goal line, it's an automatic touchback. Whether the receiver catches it or it rolls over how it gets there, it will go. Panthers don't have to run a play. Doesn't look like if they don't want to, and we'll just probably end the third quarter at 42-6.
After that long touchdown pass, you've got Cole Creighton, the sophomore quarterback. Welcome first play, Cole Creighton. 22 of 30 passing for 370 yards, 2 touchdowns for the sophomore quarterback. You got 2 receivers over 100 yards. Chandler Kemp with that long touchdown just a moment ago. He's up to 6 receptions for 139 yards and a touchdown. And then Zane Slider, 8 catches for 159 and a touchdown. So usually we see a whole lot of rushing yards here with Griffin Mason. He's out, an injury there in the first half. Obviously Max Eldridge has done pretty well, 6 carries, 46 yards. But I'm looking here on the chart sheet here. Not a whole lot of runs, a whole lot of passing. That's been the success for the Saints tonight to put up 42 points.
Well, the Saints will try to finish this one off up 42-6 as clock will run out after the touchback. Again, running clock, so it's going to continuously run in this short of a timeout, and we hope to see no injuries. But with that, So we'll run the clock here in the fourth quarter. Saints will be at home for senior night against Lake Hamilton next Friday night at Champion Stadium, the final regular season game at Champion Stadium. We're certainly hoping Saints can take care of business and earn themselves a playoff berth at home. So 42-6, there's a run play on the right side for the Panthers. They're going to cut it up to about the 23, and that's all they got on that play. Second down coming up for the Panthers, and 8 on this drive, as they've kind of gone back to a little bit more of the traditional look that they had coming into the game. Gone to that here in the late in the second half, as the game's kind of gotten out of hand a little bit on Siloam. 42-6. Receiver all the way out here on the left as they'll go shotgun. They'll run it to Short, who had the big run earlier. He's going to get spun down after he picks up 4 to the 27. So third down and coming up for the Panthers. And so, Cliff, we turn to next week. 2 regular season games left, Lake Hamilton and Van Buren. You win both of those and you host a playoff game. That's what you want to do at this point.
Yeah, you get the bye and then you host a playoff game. I mean, home field advantage and playing in front of your own fans, not having to travel across the state. You know, it's different this year in 6A. Only 2 conferences, the 6A West that we're in and the 6A East. And the East, it's pretty far east.
Handoff Short, and he's going to be hit and thrown down, but I think he may be a little bit short. It is short, 4th down and 1.
I mean, the furthest west team in the East Conference is probably Benton.
Yeah, Benton Catholic.
Sheridan. You got El Dorado way south. Little Rock Catholic, yeah, right there in the middle of the state capital. But then you've got Jonesboro up in northeast Arkansas, Marion, West Memphis. So, yeah, if you have to go on the road, which we will have to do for the state semis, unless there's an upset along the way in the bracket, we will make a trip somewhere east. But we'll have to see how that shakes out. But right now, things looking good for Shiloh, and it's exactly the position they wanted to be in after the Greenwood loss. You wanted to beat Greenwood. You wanted to be the number 1 seed and have a home field through the playoffs, but that didn't happen that night. Played them really tough. Hope to see them again in Little Rock, but we've got a few more games before we get there.
Yep. Timeout by Siloam. The play clock was running out before the punt, so the Panthers call a timeout to save the punt yardage here. 9:51 to go in the fourth quarter. 42-6, Shiloh leading. So, yeah, Cliff, I think it's really interesting. You talk about this team, boy. If you go back to where we were against Lincoln Christian and against Little Rock Christian early in the season, it was Griffin Mason on the ground, 40 carries a game. You were pounding it out. And tonight, and you can see with Cole Creighton back healthy, it's a whole new dynamic for this Saint offense. They can really throw the football.
Yeah, I mean, Cole's very adequate. We knew that last year. He did a great job as a freshman last year. You just know the arm that he's got, the decision-making, the accuracy of the throws, the zip he has on the ball. I mean, he can hit his receivers in stride. We've seen it tonight with Zane Slider. We've seen it with Chandler Kemp and Dalton Carnes. He just hits guys in stride, and that's just a weapon that you have at the quarterback position.
Panthers decide to go for it on 4th down, and the pass is going to be over the middle and incomplete. So after 4th down, the Panthers decide, we'll just go for it. We won't punt, and pass intended for Mikey McKinley goes incomplete. So a turnover on downs, as the Saints will take over for the second time tonight at the Panther 30. The other time, they did it after a fumble in the first half, which was kind of one of the plays of this game. Panthers fumbled, Saints picked it up, ran it back about 10 yards, and then put it in the end zone, gave us a 14-0 lead at that point. And Shiloh really has pretty much dominated this game from that point. So Jake Bodenstein's going to be in at quarterback for Cole Creighton, who will finish his night with just short of 400 yards passing. Jake's going to get his first pass. It's caught out in the flat at the 25, and then Carnes is going to be taken off his feet at the 24. Gain of 5 for Jake. Second down and 5 coming up. Jake will look back on his season and finally remember the comeback win at Little Rock Christian. The night where Cole Creighton got injured, Jake came in and had a last-second touchdown pass to win that game for the Saints. It was a fun night in Little Rock. Back to pass to Carnes. This time the Panthers say, we've seen this, and they blow that play up. So a loss coming back on that play for Shiloh. It's going to be third down. But really the first time all night the Saints have not been able to run that little bubble screen to the side. Carnes caught it, but just got hit immediately. 3rd and 8. Panthers shift on the defensive line. Jake's going to play action, looking, got time, now steps up in the pocket, and he's going to be sacked back at the 28-yard line, so, well, 29. So Jake will lose a yard as he gets sacked there. Coverage downfield was pretty good. Panthers didn't really give up anything, so 4th and 8 for Bodenstein and the Saints here. There's a snap for Jake, back to pass, looking, gets hit as he throws, but he completes it to Carnes, who breaks a tackle to the 15, and Carnes just dragging maroon jerseys inside the 10, down to the 9. Dalton with a 20-yard pickup off the Bodenstein pass on 4th down, and Shiloh moves the chain. So 1st down and goal to go for the Saints at the 9-yard line of the Panthers. Shiloh 42-6 with 6:56 to go in the football game. Carnes in motion. They're going to flip it to him, but he's in trouble, and he's going to be blown up at way back at the 15-yard line. Just nothing there. Siloam blitzed, and they blitzed into the right gap that time as the Saints will lose on the flip on the pass. So Dalton will go negative. It'll count as a pass as it went forward, so a loss of 6 on that play by Carnes. 2nd down and goal from the 15. Saints will run 3 receivers to the right. Silas Nance in the slot to the right with Brody Francis. They're going to fire it out, and there's a pass incomplete. Tended that one again for Carnes. Just couldn't do anything with it, so Panthers kind of blew that one up. 3rd down and 15 as we go past the halfway mark of the 3rd quarter. So see what Saints have got on 15.
Yeah, Shiloh just working on some things here, letting some of these younger guys get in there, working on these bubble screens, teaching the receivers to block. I mean, if you can teach your receivers to block to the outside, you'll be very successful when you need to make passes to the outside.
There's a snap. Back to pass, looking Bodenstein, and he's going to be taken down and sacked on the right side. Panthers came with a blitz, and they got there. And then back to the 18-yard line, a loss of 3, so 4th down and goal from the 18. Maybe one of those times, Cliffy, I was just about to say it to see Aiden Pullen running on the field right here. Maybe one of those times you kick a field goal and you talk about just getting some reps. You know, this is a great one for your kicker. 35-yard field goal. You never know when you're going to need one of these. We had a huge one, if you think, in the playoff game last year. As the snap is down, there's a kick. He drilled it right through there. Great job by Pullen as he nailed that. But we were kind of thinking in that playoff win last year, the Saints kicked a big field goal to go up 8 late in the game, and that wound up being a big one for that. So good job by Aiden, 45-6 with the lead on a 35-yard field goal, and he kicked it into the wind, Cliff, like it was nothing to it.
Yep, definitely had enough leg for it. And you know, at Shiloh, they don't kick field goals very often or attempt them very often. So as a kicker, when you have the opportunity, boy, you got to make it. I mean, if you want to have another shot at some point in the season when a coach is ready to call your number and, hey, do we go for it at 4th and 6 from our 20, or do we maybe try to get 3 here? Do I trust my kicker or not? Well, it's times like this that the kicker has kind of doing a little trial for the coach. Say, Coach, I can do it. When the time comes, crunch time, I can get you 3 points.
So 45-6 Shiloh with the lead as the clock is under 4 now at 3:47 to go. And Pullen will pooch punt it to the right. Going to be fielded right there. No fair catch by the Panthers, and then taken down at the 31-yard line with basically no return for Siloam. So Panthers with 3:27 left to go can pretty much run this one out. I think the Saints wouldn't do much on offense if they get it back at this point. So Shiloh's going to kind of break the tie, all-time tie series, as we mentioned early in the game, was Only one time the two teams have played all time, a 35-35 tie in 2013. But the Saints will take the victory tonight and move to 1-0. Shiloh will host Siloam next year.
Little basketball. How about our first basketball update here, Billy? Is that okay to do that?
It's hoops.
I know it's still October.
It's October.
And I know it's not a real game, but how about the Arkansas Razorbacks playing the #1 ranked team, the Kansas Jayhawks, at the Bud tonight? And Arkansas up 42-29 in the first half. So I know it's just an exhibition. I get it. But, man, you got a whole new team, whole new coaching staff. This can only help the basketball team going forward as they really get into their season here in about 2 weeks.
Hayden Carter, Josiah Campbell combine on the stop. So we got some new Saints in on the defensive look right there. But, yeah, basketball season, the Shiloh High School basketball team had their version of the blue gold game on Monday night. So their season's going to kick off in a few weeks.
Hey, the Shiloh basketball team had their first win of the season. They beat the Alumni 34-30. Big win for the young guys.
Quarterback back to pass, rolls right, going to step up in the pocket, tries to throw, and he's sacked at the 26-yard line. So several different Saints were there to get it, but I think Luke Morgan may have been the first one to get there. Yeah, Heath Pettin and Jonathan Bullington in his first year as the men's head coach or for the boys team for this year. So known Coach Bullington for a long time. We're very fortunate at Shiloh to have a great guy leading our basketball program. And so go out and support those guys as they get their season kicked off in about a month. Good thing is football and basketball are going to overlap for a little bit this year as the Saints have had a successful season on the gridiron. 3rd and 14, quarterback's going to run the screen, and it's knocked down. Great job there by the Saint defensive line. Looked like number 71, Hayden Carter, got that one to block it down. So 4th down for Siloam with 1:05 left to go, and they'll have to punt it away.
Hey, speaking of supporting some Shiloh teams, this coming Tuesday, the Shiloh cross-country team will run for a conference championship Tuesday afternoon at NWAC. So we're excited about the cross-country team and how successful they are this season and that they've been every season. Those guys and girls get up early and run all year long, really, to train themselves for moments like this.
Short gets a punt. Nobody back deep to receive as the Saints will just let it roll dead. Yeah, Coach Vodenstein, we talked about the volleyball team. They finished the conference season undefeated. They never lost a game, the senior class in conference play. Amazing. Incredible. And they'll have, I believe, the state tournaments at Van Buren this week. So hopefully they can get back to the championship game next Saturday as the clock will run down for the final 10 seconds here, as the Saints will finish off a victory over the Panthers 45-6. And Cliff, a good night. Did what you needed to do, took care of business.
Absolutely. You came here and didn't overlook a team that had been struggling. You came here and did what you needed to do to get the win, 45-6. Shiloh moves to 6-2 overall on the season, 4-1 in conference play, and they are again just in prime spot for that number 2 seed and that first round bye and a home game in the playoffs. So we will be back at it next week for senior night. It'll be an exciting week at Shiloh.
Yeah, get out to Champion Stadium next Friday night as the Saints have a big one with Lake Hamilton for playoff seeding. So final score tonight from Panther Stadium in Siloam Springs, Shiloh 45 and Siloam Springs 6. So for Brian Dunaway, Cliff Anderson, and our crew, thank you for joining us, and we